Hello and welcome to this Bitcoin Magazine interview. I am Vlad and my guest today is Paolo Ardoino, who is the CTO of Bitfinex. And this interview has a very interesting theme because by the time this gets published, you will be able to trade on the Lightning Network on the Bitfinex platform. And I'm actually interested to find out how that works and more information about the technicalities and functions that will be enabled on the Bitfinex exchange. So, hello, Paolo.
Hey Vlad. Thank you for having me today.
No,
So let
thank you
me,
for agreeing to do this because it's important, and I'm excited that a big exchange finally onboards users via Lightning. It's a big step.
yeah, I think that Lightning is definitely the best way to send and receive Bitcoin. As often I say, for me, Lightning Network is exactly how a payment system should be built from the technical point of view, from the scalability point of view, of course, and from the resiliency point of view. So it is, I think, a perfect implementation. And of course, one of the major critiques is that it took some time to develop it, but we are there. Bitfinex is starting next week to accept deposit and withdrawals on Lightning Network. We will let our customer to pay and get paid for their Lightning Network invoices directly on their Bitfinex account. So that is really exciting. I mean, I'm really happy to be the first exchange to do that and to prove that this can actually work. We will have also our public information about our nodes so people can directly connect to it and create a channel with us. So we will have a really nice landing page explaining how it works, all the information to connect, and so on. And we will try to translate in as many languages as possible to make the onboarding as seamless as possible.
That's really useful because this week, and by the time this gets published, it will be last week, I worked on an article about YouTubers who got demonetized on the platform. And the alternative was for them to sign up to a service like Bottle Pay, which is custodial but very easy and looks a lot like traditional banking, and start accepting donations via Lightning. And by the time I got to the point where I had to figure out how I tell them to exchange their Satoshis for fiat, that was very difficult because I told them, okay, so you're going to onboard the service which is called Zigzag, and you're going to trade your Lightning Satoshis for main chain Satoshis, and then you onboard another exchange like Gemini or Coinbase or whatever, and that's where you get your fiat. But now with Bitfinex, they're going to be able to do that directly, right?
Yes. So you can point your Blue Wallet, for example, to Bitfinex. You can pay, you can deposit on Bitfinex from your Blue Wallet and Satoshis, and they will pop in your account. And then you can move them one-to-one with Bitcoin and convert to one-to-one with Bitcoin, and you can basically sell them for fiat. I would suggest never to someone to sell Bitcoin for fiat, but you know, I'm a big believer in the orange coin.
Yeah, of course. But when you try to onboard no
Yeah,
coiners
yeah.
who had no previous exposure, they need to understand that this currency has any kind of market valuation. So they're going to want to pay bills, rents, and stuff like that.
Definitely agree. I mean, I was joking, but I think that is really important. I mean, Bitfinex was historically the most popular and is historically the most popular platform for fiat on ramp. So I'm happy that as of this week, we can do that also directly with Lightning. It's a
Yes.
big step in our evolution.
So why do you think that it took so long for one exchange to implement Lightning? And why do you think Bitfinex is the exchange that opens the way?
Because first of all, there are security concerns. So the channel size is limited, also to avoid any substantial risk. So that is really good thing for starters. When you are running an exchange, you are already exposed to so many threats that you don't want maybe to add another one. Since lately, and still now, Lightning is being considered a protocol that needs further development, and things are changing fast in the Lightning network world. So of course, exchanges like more established protocols, more established means of transacting. But I think that it's really important to show that an exchange start to show real support to Lightning Network. I mean, if we don't have, if we don't take on a bit more risk, we will not be able to keep up the pace that our industry is used to. So Bitfinex will do its part. Bitfinex always worked to be on to open the path for everyone else. We saw that with batch 2 addresses a few weeks ago. We have been big supporters of SegWit. So I think is our role to do that. And we were really cautious on the security side. So of course, if you don't, you need to be careful how many Bitcoin you commit in the channel, how you monitor the transactions. You need to make sure that hackers cannot, let's say, withdraw funds or draining funds from your channel. But that's it. I mean, we built our own expertise. We feel confident.
I was about to ask about this because about a year ago, the narrative about the Lightning Network was that it's reckless and it's only for people who know what they're doing and have some understanding of how networking works and how they connect and can manage their own node. But as the months have passed, we have seen so many implementations that make it very easy. And you have basically a dashboard that does it all for you, and you don't even have to type a single line of code. But that's just cosmetics. On the security level, do you think that Lightning is robust and is not reckless anymore?
So I think that it is becoming more robust. The fact that developers, Lightning developers, locked the channel size to 0.04 Bitcoin is, of course, meaningful. Everyone doesn't want to lose precious Satoshis. So it is important that things go step by step. But the more liquidity, the more commitments from exchanges, the more commitments for crypto enthusiasts there will be, the faster the ecosystem will grow and the stronger it will get. So, of course, I mean, if you lose, if an exchange lose, let's say, a few $1,000s worth of Bitcoin, in order to improve and push the growth of this great technology, I think that is not problematic at all. I mean, it's part of the risk that you have running an exchange. So the least that we can do is to support it early, to show to other parties that it's not as bad or as insecure as it gets described.
So let's say that on Tuesday, which is the 3rd of December, I think, I get on Bitfinex and I put some Lightning Satoshis there, and I want to get back base layer Satoshis. Is there a premium for this service? So if I put 1 Bitcoin, do I get back 1 Bitcoin, or is there a fee of some sort?
So the process is simple. So you go on the Lightning Network deposit page, and you can generate an invoice. You scan an invoice with your Blue Wallet, for example, or any Lightning Network enabled wallet, and you can send in Satoshis, and we will credit you LNX, that is our Lightning Network currency that you can exchange one-to-one with Bitcoin, right? So there is no premium or discount. Of course, when you will process a withdrawal in the opposite way. So you go on the Lightning Network withdrawal page, and you will be able to pay an invoice. then we will apply a small fee of few Satoshis in order to prevent that someone can keep doing that and drain our liquidity and our wallet, Lightning Network node, sorry. But that's it. So we don't apply any premium or any conversion rate to for the service. We want. I think that even if it will be a loss for a certain period of time, I much prefer to invest in this than in pure marketing.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And I think last month, and again, by the time this gets published, it will be about 2 months ago, there was the Lightning conference in Berlin, and we have seen many competing Lightning clients. We have seen Async with Eclair, I think it's called. We have seen Lightning Labs with LNZ. We have seen Blockstream with C Lightning, and Nayuta with Ptarmigan or something. And which one of these clients is Bitfinex running for their Lightning node?
So right now we are running L&D for the initial support, and we are planning to add C Lightning. So I kind of like the C Lightning implementation because it feels more modular and plugin based, and so you feel like you can use that as a base layer for additional developments on top of it. So it feels like a bit the Linux kernel where you can develop your own plugins and using the underlying hooks to extend the functionalities of the core. So I like that on C Lightning, but at the moment we are using LND because we decided to use that with the partner that Bitrefill, that with which we will have an integration on this Wednesday.
Yeah, we're not supposed to talk much about that because this interview goes live on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday there's going to be that under embargo announcement, but we're not going to say what it is. I guess you can say that you have worked with Bitrefill to set up the infrastructure, right?
Yes, definitely. We both of us are big believers in Lightning Network and its potential. So we explored, say, different setups, and we decided to use LND for this first implementation. But each one of us is quite agnostic. I mean, we want to make sure that every one of these clients get enough traction because also diversity is part of resilience of the network.
Right. So how was the process of working with Bitrefill, and what did they bring in this? Should I call it partnership or collaboration of sorts?
I think that collaboration is fine. I think that's is probably a better term.
Okay, so what did they bring into this collaboration?
Well, they have a big expertise in Lightning Network. So, like I said, they are big believers. They have a great technical team, and we found in them a perfect match to also test with a slightly bigger channel size to align with experience. Again, when it comes to security, you want to talk and discuss and confront with as many people as possible in our industry. So they were a great team player for us.
As I recall, Bitrefill at some point started a channel which was as big as 1 BTC. Does Bitfinex have anything similar with a very large channel?
Yes, with Bitrefill.
Okay, so you collaborate with them, and what are you allowed to say the size of it?
1 BTC.
Okay.
So if you are referring the channel that was open a few days ago, we were working together on that.
I think the announcement is a few months old. They were experimenting with the concept. Okay. So I didn't go on the Network Explorer.
Okay. But that was, if I'm not wrong, it was on Eclair, while we tried to do the same thing, but on LND a couple of weeks ago nowadays.
Interesting. I guess the details are definitely fascinating to discover how you were able to overcome the limitations of that specific client.
So we worked to change the code base, to create a patch for ourselves in the code base, and we of course worked and had different discussion with different parties in the Lightning Network world to ensure that what we were doing was secure enough. Of course, this channel will remain between the two companies in order to keep doing further testing before opening up to anyone else. You need to be 101% sure. So, but this experimenting is part of the beauty of our world in crypto space.
Right. I forgot to ask you a very essential question about this whole process. Let's say that I send 100,000 Satoshis to Bitfinex on Tuesday. And what can I do after that? What can I actually do? Can I exchange for BTC on the main chain? Can I get Tether? Can I get something else?
So you deposit on Bitfinex and you get LNX. That is, let's say, virtual currency that represent Lightning Network Satoshis. And then you convert that one-to-one. There is a tool in Bitfinex that you can use to convert those Satoshis in BTC on Bitfinex. And you take the BTC, you sell it for $1, for Tether, for whatever other thing you want, and you can withdraw that. So super straightforward process.
All right, so you basically convert first to BTC, and after that you can do whatever you want and withdraw. But if you have BTC, can you do the opposite and get Satoshis on Lightning?
Of course, you can convert the BTC in LNX, and then you can pay an invoice with that. So exact opposite process works. One of the challenges that we will have is to improve the user experience, because that is one of the critiques that, in general, blockchain had, and not only Lightning Network wallets. So the research of the perfect user experience is always ongoing. We would like to make sure that at some point you point your mobile wallet, send some Satoshis, and they finish directly in your BTC account. Right now we have this small intermediary step, but it's one click anyway, so not a big deal. But it's an ongoing process, so definitely we will look to improve the user experience further.
Okay. I'm not sure if at this point I have any more questions, but if you have anything to add to this interview.
I just want to thank you for giving me this spot and talk about Lightning Network. It's one of the things that makes me more excited.
Oh yeah, it's very exciting. And this is the first major exchange to add Lightning support, which is huge. So Paolo Ardoino, thank you very much, signore. Sono felice. Grazie.
That is a perfect Italian. Thank you very much, Vlad. Have a really good day, and thank you again for having me.
You too.